Now, each year, hundreds of nurses emigrate from the UK to New Zealand in hopes for a better quality of life, better work-life balance, better pay, better conditions, better everything. In fact, I was one of those nurses because in 2021, I emigrated from the UK to New Zealand. What exactly is the pay difference for nurses who work in New Zealand compared to nurses who work in the UK? So that's exactly what I'm going to be discussing in today's video. I'm going to be comparing a check for a nurse in the UK versus a paycheck for a nurse in New Zealand. And we're going to see exactly what are the differences in hourly rate, in annual rate, as well as a random monthly snapshot. We're going to see what are those differences. Do nurses in New Zealand get paid more than nurses in the UK, or is it vice versa, or is there no difference at all? Hi guys, my name is Tembi, and on this channel I talk all about nursing, travel, life in Australia, life in New Zealand, and everything else in between. If this is your first time here, then welcome, welcome, welcome. It is very nice to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. If this isn't your first time here, then thank you so much for coming back. Like I said at the top of the video, I'm going to be comparing my payslip from New Zealand when I was working as a nurse there to one of my friend's payslips who lives in the UK, who is also a nurse, and we're going to see some rough differences. Now, before I get into the actual meat and potatoes of the whole comparison, there are a few disclaimers I just wanted to give out. So first of all, I'm going to be comparing my paycheck to my friend's paycheck. Both of us have been qualified for 6 years. She's one of my good friends. We went to university together and we graduated at the same time. We are both mental health nurses. My friend works as a band 5 nurse in the NHS in the UK currently, and she works on a mental health inpatient unit. And the paycheck I'm going to be comparing to in New Zealand, I also was working as a mental health nurse, but I was working as a crisis team nurse in the community. So with both jobs, we get unsociable hours pay because they were both like 24-hour services. So we work nights, we work weekends, we work bank holidays, public holidays, etc. So that actually has an impact on pay as well. In New Zealand, I was getting paid every 2 weeks. It's a bi-weekly pay system, whereas in the UK, it is a monthly pay system. So I'll be comparing my 2 pay slips for one particular month versus my friend's 1 pay slip for 1 month, so we can get like a whole monthly figure. So my paychecks are from 12th of December 2022 to 12th of January 2023, and my friend's paycheck is from the 1st to the 30th of November 2023. So there is a little bit of a time difference in between where we worked these. And also my pay slip doesn't take into account the recent like 4 to 6% pay increase that nurses have been given. So nurses right now in New Zealand are being paid significantly more than what I was being paid at the time. And if I was still working in New Zealand right now, I would be getting paid even more than I was at that time. There will be some slight differences in the paychecks when it comes to things like deductions. My friend, she pays into her pension, whereas in New Zealand, I didn't have a pension plan. So that may or may not have like a few $100s or a few £100 worth of difference there, but we'll go and see that. Also, in terms of the currency, I will talk about them in New Zealand dollars and in pounds. But in terms of comparing, I'm going to convert everything into pounds using like the exchange rate at the time of this recording, which is in December 2023. We'll be able to get an approximate difference and an approximate figure for these differences in pay. Let me wear my glasses for this bit because I am a little bit blind. So on the right here, you can see the NHS payslip, which is my friend's payslip. So she works for the NHS and she's a band 5 nurse who's been qualified for 6 years. And on the left here, you can see one of my pay slips for when I was working for Te Whatu Ora, also known as Health New Zealand, and that also is like an NHS type equivalent. So like I said, I was getting paid every 2 weeks, so I'm going to have 2 pay slips to show to represent the whole month. So first things first, we're going to start off with annual salaries and compare what the differences are. So annual salary for my friend, band 5 nurse, qualified for 6 years, she is getting paid £34,581. And at the time, I was getting paid 83,243 New Zealand dollars. So when I convert this into pounds, that was roughly £40,591. Remember, this was only like the base salary. So this was before any like enhancements, any weekends, any bank holiday pays or anything like that. So with just the annual salary alone, there was a difference of approximately £6,050, roughly. So I was getting paid more annually in New Zealand at the time than my friend is getting paid in the NHS, even though we've been qualified the exact amount of years and we're pretty much like on the same steps, like equivalent when it comes to like pay structure. The next thing that we are going to compare is the hourly rate. So we're going to compare the basic hourly rate. So as you can see, my friend here, she gets paid £17.68 an hour. And I was getting paid, my hourly rate was $39.91. When I convert that, it comes up to £19.46. So £17.68 versus £19.46, which was a difference of roughly £2 or so. So I had a slightly higher hourly rate in New Zealand compared to the hourly rate over here in England. The next thing that we're going to compare, which is the most important detail of them all, the one that we really wanted to see, was going to be the monthly pay, the monthly take-home pay. Let me just start off with my New Zealand pay for this month, for this particular month that I was getting paid. So the first half of my pay, I was paid 3,807 New Zealand dollars for this 2-week period. And one of the reasons why I actually managed to get paid that much was because, as you can see here, on Saturday the 24th of December, I'm circling it here, I did an overtime shift and I got roughly $3,807 for those 2 weeks. And then the following 2 weeks, I was paid 3,575 New Zealand dollars, which in total for that particular month was 7,383 New Zealand dollars, which when I convert it into pounds, the total was roughly 3,600 British pounds. When I compare that to my friend's monthly pay here on the screen, she got paid for a whole month £2,202, which is significantly lower than the 3,600 that I got paid for that one whole month. If we're going to go based on that snapshot, we can conclude that New Zealand pays more than England because there was a roughly £1,397 pay difference between us in a month period. £1,397, that is a lot of money. That's how much more I got paid in a whole month compared to my friend in the NHS. So that is quite a significant amount of money. Even though I actually wasn't paying into my pension pot, which my friend was, and that actually did take away from some of her gross income, I don't know if that would have made that much of a difference if I was paying into my pension in New Zealand as well. The difference is still there. The difference was still there, and it's still quite a significant difference, over £1,000 a month. That is a lot of money. So we can safely conclude that New Zealand nurses do get paid higher and more compared to nurses here in the UK. And like I said, that figure has only increased because the New Zealand government recently introduced a pay rise for all nurses, which is between sort of 4 to 6% in August 2023. So that rate has increased, and that difference, I can guarantee you, is even higher if I was to be comparing it right now. So are you surprised by this difference? I feel like it is quite a big difference. It is quite a lot of money. It makes a big difference, I think. Did you expect it to be more? Did you expect it to be less? Like, have you worked in New Zealand before? Have you worked in the UK before, alternatively? Have you noticed any differences in your pay? I know I certainly noticed a difference in my pay when I moved to New Zealand, and I feel like as a result, like my quality of life was better, everything was much better because I was getting paid a lot more. So I'm really interested to see, or to hear your thoughts actually on this whole pay difference thing. Are you surprised? Did you expect it to be larger? Did you expect it to be smaller? And as a result of seeing this pay difference, are you now planning to move to New Zealand yourself? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. But apart from that, guys, I will see you in the next video. Bye.